All right, we're just gonna wait for some people to get in here. Waiting for the mother of Logan to get on here. Let's see. There's Lee. We're just waiting on Christy to get on here. How you doing, Lee? Pretty sure I tagged her. I just sent her a request. Hold on a second. Request. Yes, audience. There's Amy, Jenny, Christy. There you go. All right, so I tried to send you a request. At the bottom, you will see. Hold on a second. You'll see like a picture of a body, and then it's got like a picture next to it, right next to the share. It might be green. Aaron, what's up, man? Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Do you see what I'm talking about? Hey, let me see if I can send it to you now that you're in here. Hold on. You should be able to send me a request at the bottom. There you go. Hold on. I'm adding you right now. Let me see. Should hold
on.
I think I got you. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. You got your volume up?
I think so. Hold on.
Oh, there we go. I guess I had mine turned down.
Oh.
All right. So I wanted to tell you, I wanted to do this because like I witnessed this firsthand and I've experienced this firsthand. Like I was bullied as a kid, and my firstborn son, we actually had to pull him out of public school and homeschool him because he was bullied. And so like this was something that really touched my heart. And come to find out, my brother Chris, he used to date Jamie, and he had went to some of Logan's
Events?
extracurricular activities and games and stuff. I
Um,
don't know if you know my brother Chris King.
I do. I know who that is. I remember when him and Jamie dated. Yes, I do know who that
Yes,
is.
that's my
Yeah.
brother. And so there's a lot of things with this story that just was real personal to me, and I really wanted to give it light and talk to you about it. So,
Well,
but I wanted
I appreciate
to get that out the way. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Christy Teagarden. My maiden name is Rice, but my name is Christy Teagarden. Born, raised here in Kansas City, grew up here in Kansas City, went to Oak Park, had both my kids here. Um, I'm just a mom. You know, people tell me
Yeah,
you're not just a mom, but to me, I mean, that's who I am. I'm a mom. You know, my kids are my life. They're everything. And losing Logan has just spearheaded my life in a direction that I never expected. And I still don't
yeah,
believe that it's real.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah. And what's bothering me about this is what I was reading about it. It said he had actually went to his math teacher, his Spanish teacher, the principal. He had reached out to several faculty members,
Yep. He
and it just
reached
got
out.
ignored. And that's what's bothering me the most about this, because when my son goes to public school. Well, my son's autistic. He's in special classes, but when he's there, that school's responsible for him.
Agreed.
You know, like there's no way around it.
Agreed.
And you know, and us as parents are sending our kids, you know, with trust to these
Absolutely.
schools, you know, and when something like that happens, it needs to be addressed. There's no reason. It's complete negligence that the school just ignores it and allows it. They know what's going on and they're still letting it happen.
They absolutely, and there's reasons why. There's laws that protect them, and I can get into that here in a bit. But they're supposed to be the source of truth. They're the ones that are supposed to know what programs they have, what things that they can put in place to protect our kids, to do these things. We're ignorant. You know, I'm not the professional here. I'm not the expert here at school. They know their policies and procedures. They know all these things, but yet they like to put it back on us like, well, you did. No, no, no. You're supposed to tell me, okay, yeah, you made me aware of some issues and I addressed them on my end, but you didn't tell me that there was things on your end of like a suicide, you know, readiness program that you could have my kid in, you know, things like that that were there for his help, and you didn't even let me know about him. I knew nothing about him until after my son passed.
Yeah.
I mean, just
That blows my mind. I was reading about, what do they call it? Sovereign immunity. Did
the
that have
sovereign.
anything to do with this?
That's why we lost our case. Missouri public schools. Let me correct that. The public schools are protected under sovereign immunity because they are a public entity, tax paid public entity, and within that sovereign immunity, there's a duty of doctrine. Or basically, what it means is the law cannot interpret what their intention was to whether they wanted to, you know, protect or whatever they wanted to. The law can't interpret that, so they can't make a judgment on what they could have or might have or should have or could have would have done.
Yeah.
It's
They have to
ridiculous.
grant you consent to sue them, is basically what I was reading.
It does, and yeah, of course they didn't grant me consent to sue, so
Well, of
you
course
know,
not.
no, of course not.
But how would that should be illegal though? Well, how could something like that even exist for them
That's
to
my
just
question.
to say you just, if we don't give you permission to hold us accountable, you can't hold us accountable. We can do whatever we want. To me,
That's
that
exactly
seems
it.
like that should be illegal.
It should be. And I am working with, I actually spoke to our new Senator, Maggie Nernberg,
Mhm.
right before the election, right after the election. And we actually sat down and she was very disturbed of the situation as well. She's a former teacher.
Right?
And she's actually going to be working with me to hopefully write some legislation to put things into place to protect our kids.
Definitely, that's
Because,
something that definitely needs to happen.
oh, absolutely. At this point, I mean, I know this sounds terrible when I say this, but I really have nothing left to lose. I don't. They took my kid.
I mean, you've lost. Yeah, you've lost the greatest thing to you, man. So
Absolutely. They took my child. And so if it takes everything in me, I'm going to do everything in my power to save other kids because I know that's what Logan would want. He was a gentle giant. He was the sweetest, kindest soul. And I know people like to say, oh, my kid. No, I mean, you could ask anybody about my son, and they would all
yeah,
tell you what a beautiful, beautiful soul he was.
everything I've heard and I've read about your son has been just that. That he was a great kid. He
Yeah,
was smart. He
yeah,
played
yeah,
sports. Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly it. And people, you know, have come up to me, well, you know, well, you should have known, you should know. Well, I knew about the bullying. I didn't know the extent of the bullying until after he passed because he hid a lot of things from me. He was 16 years old. He was
Yeah.
16. There's things you don't, I mean, go back to when you're 16. Did you tell your mom everything that happened
No.
in your life? What? No, of course not. So why would I know everything? And well, you know, you could have pulled it. Yeah, I could have. We tried to. We tried to put him in a different district. We tried to put him at our homeschool. He didn't want to leave his friends. And
Yeah.
every time I would ask him something, he's like, "I got this, Mama. Don't worry, Mama. I got this, Mama." Because he wanted to be this big, strong. I mean, when he passed, the kid was 6'3", 240 pounds. I mean, he was a man child. That's what I called him. I mean, he just, and he wanted peace. The things that he wanted, he's like, Mama, I just want to go to school, be with my friends, and play ball. He's like, that's all I want.
Yeah. He just wanted
And
to be a
yes,
kid and enjoy his life.
yeah, that's it. That's all he wanted. But he wasn't allowed to be himself. You know, I call his friends, and I don't know if they know this that I call them, but I call them the misfits. But I call them that as a term of endearment because they were all of his friends are just beautiful, beautiful souls, all
Mhm.
special, different, and wonderful. And that's what he loved. He loved the fact that his friends didn't fit a mold, that they were individuals, that they had their own expressions, that they did the things that made them happy. And he had a few friends that were struggling with mental health, and he was always there for them. Whatever they needed, he was there. He would stop, drop everything for these kids. You know, right before he passed away, I was noticing on his lunch account that he was just spending so much money on his lunch account. I'm son, what are you doing? Come to find out, he was paying for lunches for some kids that weren't having lunches at school, just doing it because that's the
Yeah,
kid he was. That's who he was.
that is awesome.
He was just a great kid.
And the school ignored the
Oh,
bullies too. Like from what I've
oh,
seen, they didn't take no action against them at all.
that is correct. So when I after he passed out, I found out about the band or gang name or whatever they wanted to call themselves. They called themselves the Mercenaries.
Yeah, I read that.
Um, And according to the administrators, there's no mercenaries, there's no bullying, there's nothing going on. What do you, or as you know, one of the principals would say, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, I read that was the response to your son. What do you want me to do
What
about
do
it?
you want me to do? And my dad, because I apparently my dad went up there a few times again. They didn't tell me because Logan would call my dad and say, hey, I've got a problem. Can you come help? And of course, my dad was right up there. And yeah, they got to a point where they wouldn't even let my dad into the front office. Like they would stop him because they didn't want to deal with him. They didn't want to deal with him.
They're just
They're
sweeping it under the rug. They don't want to take any accountability. They want this to go away.
That's exactly what they want because they don't want any bad light on them. They want people to keep moving into the district. They want money. They want whatever you want to call it. They want to be all squeaky clean on the outside, but underneath it is an ugly, ugly mess. And I have had so many parents come out to me after the fact, tell me, I've experienced the same thing at that school. I've been dealing with it. I pulled my kid out. My kid almost died. The bullying is still going. I had a mom reach out to me about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying it's still going on. My kid is being bullied. My kid's on a sports team, and this is what's happening to them. And it's not even just the kids; it's the coaches. I mean, it's disgusting.
And the school is just saying, "Oh, this ain't even happening."
Pretty much, pretty much. What do you want us to do about it? Or
Why
it's
are
not
all
happening
these
at all.
kids coming forward then, and why are we losing children? And how could they sit there and say nothing's happening when obviously all that has transpired, like it's right there in front of
It's
you,
right,
it's happening.
right there. But they don't want the bad. They don't want the bad press. They want people moving into that district. I mean, I don't know if you've driven by Liberty North High School, but it looks like a college. It doesn't even look like a high school. They have spent so much money on their athletics, from their football stadium, their baseball fields. I don't know exactly, but I have been told that the baseball coach, football coach makes six figures a year. For a high school, public school, why in the heck is a coach making six figures?
Right.
I mean, my God. So the reason, so the my son tried out for baseball because again, that's what he wanted to do. But the week of tryouts was the last week of February, March 2nd, because this was right before he took his life. And he played, he practiced, and he almost made the team, but didn't quite make it. So they cut him on the last day. They cut him on the Friday before he took his life.
Yeah, I read that.
Come to find out, one of the coaches, not directly, but someone they're related to, reached out to me after the fact. Come to find out, the coach that saw my son try out wanted him on the team. It was the head coach that didn't want him. Didn't even see him try out. Just didn't want him because of who he was.
Yeah, he was biased and he didn't like him,
He
so
just didn't like he didn't like my son, so he didn't want him on the team. So you tell me, a public high school, you don't have enough people, coaches, if you're making six figures to where you can have all these kids try out and make a team, he didn't have to be on varsity. He didn't have to be junior varsity. He could have been on an AB team.
right.
It's a public school. It's a public school. Why are you limiting these children? Because you don't care about them. You care about
Yeah.
state championships. You care about trophies. You care about status. That's what they
Yeah.
care about. These
He
kids are
cares about
nothing.
that six-figure salary that he's getting. That's
Bingo.
what he cares about.
Absolutely. And the fact that he's got, I forgot what college it was. I think it was the University of Mississippi or something, or one of those big, Nick Shane or Sean or something, whatever his name is, was at the school, like right that same year. He came and toured Liberty North High School. Why would a college big guy that come tour Liberty North High School? Scouting, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. The priorities are not with the children for sure.
No,
The kids are expendable to them.
absolutely.
They'll just throw one off and they'll bring another one on the team. Like they don't
Absolutely.
care.
And
Yeah.
parents are just as bad because the parents don't want it to affect their kids because their kids are getting all this special treatment. Their kids are getting all these things. So they know what's going on, but they're not going to say anything because they don't want it to negatively affect their kids. But
And
that's
that's
my
the
kid.
problem that we have as a society is a lot of people are like that. They're going to keep their mouth shut to protect their interest.
Absolutely. And that's sick to me.
It
I mean,
is.
put yourself in my shoes. What is your kid worth? Huh? What is your kid worth? Is it worth their life? He's gone.
Yeah.
My son is dead. I get to visit him at the grave. I don't get to see him go to college. I don't get to see him graduate. I don't get to see him get his first car. I don't get to see him start a family. He's gone. And what?
Yeah.
Because your kid was on a baseball team and you wanted to make sure he got a good full ride to school? Or make the pros? I mean, how many kids truly make the professional leagues? I mean, give me a break.
Right. Hey, do you know if any of the other parents have came? I mean, because what you got now is you got a whole bunch of people that's coming forward, and there's going to be a point where they're not going to be able to say it's not happening if they're having multiple parents and all these different accounts of things going on.
That's exactly right. And I think it's because, I think it's because of me saying something and not letting them, even though we lost our case because of the laws, I'm not going to be quiet. And, I might have been quiet before, but I'm not quiet now. And I won't
Right.
be quiet.
And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You should fight for your son.
Absolutely. And I'm going to. This is
Yeah,
a hill that I'm going to
absolutely.
die on because I
Absolutely.
truly believe that my son's not a statistic. He's not just some kid that went to Liberty North and took his life. He's going to make a difference like he planned on. He was going to be all these things. He had so many dreams, so many hopes and dreams. And I'm going to hopefully make them come true in one way or another for him.
My brother was talking about it, telling me, and he was just telling me he was such a good kid. Like my brother absolutely loved Logan.
Yeah.
So
Everybody that knew him, that took the time to get to know my son, loved him.
yeah,
You could come into our house and you could be sitting there and he would just come up to you and just start a conversation and act like you guys were the best of friends. And one of the things in our neighborhood, like it didn't matter what age you were, what gender were you, everybody was included. If he saw somebody not, come on, come play some football with us, come play some baseball, let's do this. And he always made sure they were included. And it didn't matter if they were the little girl and with the bigger kids or the little boy with the bigger kids or what, it didn't matter. Everybody was welcome and he always made sure that they were included and noticed and
yeah. Well, because he understood what it felt like to be that kid that was outcasted.
yeah, he did.
And so that's why he went out of his way to show kids love and show them that because he felt that void. He knew how they felt.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he just wanted peace and love and everybody to get together. He didn't care who you were. He just wanted you to be a good person and just wanted you to be friends with, so when like the mercenaries friended him before he realized who they were, he thought, okay, I just want to be friends with people, great, great. And then when he found out their intentions, he's like, no, I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you. Left that group chat, Snapchat, whatever. I don't know all these things that they do, but whatever chat thing they had, he put himself out of it. And he's like, I want nothing to do with it. That's not who I am. I'm not here to be a bully. I'm not here to be mean to people.
So is that what started this? Like they tried to recruit him and he said,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not
Yep.
that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started bullying him. Is that what happened?
Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But according to them, according to school, there was no group. But funny, as soon as I filed the lawsuit and brought it up, lo and behold, there's a group called the Mercenaries, but we're just a friendly group. That was what he told the Kansas City Star. We're just a friendly group trying to make friends and do this, but you're called the Mercenaries. Right. Sounds
Yeah, that threw me off when I read that. It said the mercenaries, and I was like, wait a minute, because
mm-hmm.
my idea of a mercenary was something different. And I was like,
Mine
how are
too.
they? Yeah, and then
Mine too.
I realized it was the name of a group, and then I started understanding the bullying. I'm like, oh, this wasn't just a random kid or two. This was a group that
Mm-hmm.
was bullying him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was I mean, just there was an incident too. I don't know if this kid was affiliated. I think in one way he was, but there was a kid that Logan grew up with in our neighborhood, and they were friends growing up. But through middle school, high school, they weren't close, and they didn't weren't friends anymore. And this kid had some issues. He had some troubles. He ended up getting transferred to the academy. But weird, he was able to walk onto school property, not get checked, and start a fight with my son. And my son got suspended by a kid that shouldn't have been at the school.
I
Oh,
read that. I read
mhm.
that an outside kid was coming to the school. Yeah, like how does that? Okay, my son's school there's locked doors.
Right.
Like you got a buzz in the school. I don't know if his school was like that. Probably not. I don't think a high school would be
They,
like
they
that. But
they do. You have to walk in. I don't know how that kid got in, but he did, and there was a fight, and my son got suspended
and
because of,
again, these kids aren't getting any kind of discipline at all.
no, none of them. Nope, not one. They play the victims.
Yeah, that's
They
crazy.
try to play now that my son's dead and can't, stand up for himself. Oh, we were friends. We were friends. I love Logan. I love Logan. Right. Right.
But Logan told a different story about
Mhm.
those kids.
And Logan's real friends told a different story too, because they all knew as well that
Yeah,
these kids were nothing but trouble. Yeah. It's
man.
it's it's just been it's wild. It's something that I never in my wildest dreams could even imagine. It's like a movie that I'm watching and just with my mouth, jaw to the floor, like this isn't real. Who could have made this up? But yeah, this is my life. And now his sister no longer has her brother. My grandparent or his grandparents, my dad and him were best friends. Oh my God, him and my dad. My my dad had two girls. This was his boy. They stole my
Yeah,
dad's best friend. I mean, these two, they were together all the time. Which is why he trusted him with some things that he didn't trust me because that was his dad in his eyes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And oh yeah, he's
yeah. Boys will take to their fathers, just like girls take to their mothers.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And
So
it has shook up not just our family, but I mean, it's they took a big piece of something that was so big to us.
what's blowing my mind is the fact that they're just like, we don't want to deal with this, so there's nothing you can do. Like that's still crazy to me.
Oh yeah. So like apparently I found out about this after Logan passed too from another mom. There's a program app. It's called Courage to Report.
Hmm.
Apparently this is a safety app that these kids can report issues with safety, bullying, things, harassment, whatever the case may be. And then it gets reported and it gets sent to law enforcement and the school. And then they determine the need of how to react or respond. The night my son took his life, somebody, I don't know who it was, nobody will ever tell me who it was. Somebody called into that line and told them that my son was threatening to take his life due to extreme excessive bullying. And I heard from nobody, nobody, no law enforcement, no school, nothing.
And you would
I
think they would be coming doing some kind of welfare check or something
not
on him.
one, not one. And who knows if that could have saved him? I don't know. But again, we'll never know because they never did anything with it.
Right.
Um, it's he took his life. His attempt was March 6th, 2023. We my mom I was at work. He was at my parents. I was at work. My mom found him. And when she found him, he still had a little bit of a pulse. So she called my dad. My dad started CPR, my mom called 911. They were able to get his heart started back up. We had him here until the 11th, when they finally declared him brain dead. There was
Yeah.
nothing to do. But we tried to save him. It was
Yeah.
that quick. It was that quick. The day was normal. It was a normal day. I mean, he got out of school early because he had an orthodontist appointment, you know, because he had just got his braces off. He was learning how to drive, but that was him and my dad's thing. They were teaching him, you know, so I mean, it was a great, beautiful, sunny, beautiful March day. Nothing out of the ordinary. He'd come
Well,
up,
they,
he'd come upstairs, put something down, went back downstairs, always had his earpods or AirPods, whatever you call them, because that kid listened to music. He loved music.
yeah.
And my mom told me she was on the phone, and when she got off the phone, she noticed it was time for him to take a shower because he used to take showers at night. And she called him and she didn't hear no response. And my dad's like, oh, he's probably got his AirPods on. Just go down there, you know, and get him. And he found an extension cord and
Yeah. So if they would have done they should have responded as soon as that call came in.
yes.
They should have responded to that.
Yeah. And they didn't.
And like you said, who really knows? But that would have gave them an opportunity to at least a chance to at least have intercepted him before he was able to do anything.
And somebody was like, well, maybe you guys reported it. If we had reported it, do you think we would have allowed him to be by himself in any way, shape, or form? That kid would have been handcuffed to myself or my dad or somebody. We would have been getting him help. Why would I report something like that and then put blame because I want to make money off the? I don't give a shit about the money. I want my son. If you were the one that
would have reported it, though, something would have been done. You would have got him help.
Right. You know, when he first reported his, you know, suicide ideations, you know, we got him to the doctor. They diagnosed him with depression because he was depressed. We got him into therapy. I mean, and he went from being very recluse to Logan was coming back. He was talking, he was being this, he was doing good. He was at a point where, you know, therapy, I was like, okay, because he was 16. He wanted to be in charge of so many things. And I'm like, okay, well, you tell me when you feel you need to go to therapy. You tell me when you feel like you're a little down. Okay, mama. Okay, mama. So he was in control of those kind of things. And anything he needed, is this what if I could go back, I would do some. But if I go back, I mean, if I went back and didn't know, I mean, how many more people are going to end up dying? I mean,
and now there are more students right now currently being bullied by these same kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I read something that disgusted me. It said that some of these kids actually showed up to the funeral.
Yeah, they showed to the visitation. The visitation. I was I didn't know what was going on. I was in shock still, so I had no idea. They apparently kept it to the front where I found out after the fact that these kids showed up to my son's visitation and tried to start trouble. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it when I read that. I was like, wow. Mm-hmm. So that right there should show you that these kids are, you know, even with him being gone, they're still, you know, now they're harassing the family and they're still trying to cause trouble even though he's not even here no more.
Nope. And the school did nothing for him. When I say they did nothing, they did. So when he passed, it was on spring break. When he came back to school, or when school was back in session, nothing. No memorial, no nothing.
I saw that they didn't do no balloon release or anything that they had actually done for previous students that they do for other students.
That passed, but since he passed by suicide, they don't want to bring that up because they don't want to give kids ideas.
They should bring that up because this is the perfect time to bring awareness to that.
Exactly. Obviously, they have the ideas. They know how to take their own lives. They don't have the resources, or you're not providing them the resources to save their lives. This is the perfect time to be up there and saying this, and this, and this. But no, they don't want to.
The school should have brought it up, made a big deal about it, and pushed it to all the students.
Yep.
That, you know, they should have had a pep rally and everything, brought them in the gym and like talked to them about it and everything.
Yep. But nope, nothing. Business as usual.
Of course.
Yeah. So
they don't want no issues. They want to just keep things moving in their agenda.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Again, want that squeaky clean image. We're good. You know, we're fair. We have safe spaces. We this. Yeah, right. Safe spaces for who? The kids that have money? The kids that have that are going to get you these championships or whatever it is?
Right.
Not my kid. You know.
The schools don't care. I mean, like I said, I did a video on Gracemore, and this time it was the faculty that was like abusing and harassing the kids and the autistic kids. They were calling cops on them and suspending them for no reason and roughing them up, sending them home with bruises. And so, and they did the same thing. They were just like, oh, we don't want to hear it. They didn't answer no questions, wouldn't answer the phone. They just wanted to go away.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Because God forbid we truly stand behind our policies and procedures in regards to bullying and mental health and anything like that. I mean, God forbid. I mean, shoot, you have to have PE to graduate high school, but you can't have a mental health class or a social services class to teach your kids how to cope and deal with, you know, this crazy world we live in. I mean, we had COVID. We literally had our kids in school. We yanked them out and we threw them back in. And they're like, you know, we have phones in front of their faces and they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to do any of these things. But you have all these policies and procedures and things in place to use if they need it, but you don't tell us about it. You don't let us know about it. You don't, unless it fits your agenda.
Because they don't want to use it. They want to just keep things going smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to put in any extra effort than they have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting.
So, I mean, going forward, since this suit and everything happened, like, is there any other options?
Not unless the laws are changed, and that's what I'm working to change. I'm working to get the wording, the language changed to where if a child is harmed, whether by self or by others, and they were aware of it, that they don't qualify for this sovereign immunity. That nullifies that whole protection they have.
That sovereign immunity shouldn't even be a thing. That should be illegal.
It should be. It started originally, I mean, I don't know when it was first put. I mean, I understand the premise behind it, but it's a blanket, and they have figured out how to use it to their advantage to get away with things. And I mean, I get it. I get it. You're in a public. Anybody could come and sue you. Anybody could come and sue you. And it doesn't. A child lost their life due to bullying in your hands at your school, and you just no, you shouldn't be protected by anything. You should be held accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
When my kid gets dropped off at that door at 8 a.m., he's your responsibility at that time because he has to be there. By law, he has to be there.
Right. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. Otherwise, because if I don't take him there, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to go to jail because I didn't take my kid to school. He has to legally be there. So you're telling me that you guys, what? Not my problem.
Yeah. They take them, but if anything happens, they don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
It's disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. And some parents don't have a choice. They're single, families or families that they don't have anybody to take they're not able to homeschool. They're not able to put their kids in private schools. And that was what my attorney told me too, was had my son been in a private school, we would have won our case. With all the evidence we had, we would have won our case. But because he was in the public schools and because of sovereign immunity, nope, nothing.
Sovereign.
Yeah.
I can't even. Every time you say that, it just makes me it's disgusting.
Infuriates. Yes,
I'm just like, yeah, like what the hell is that? What is that? Yeah, they don't need to reword that. They need to just abolish that.
Abolish
they need to
it
get rid
altogether.
of it. Right.
And even if I get language in there to where at least it abolishes if a child is harmed or loses their life, that they no longer get this. It's done. Like it's done. And if that starts, and maybe that starts the next thing where public schools period are just not it. No, and then maybe I hope it starts the ball rolling to completely abolish it altogether because it's ridiculous.
Well, guess what? I go out here and I harm a child. Guess what? I'm held accountable. I can't say, oh, I have immunity. I don't want to deal with that. Just you know what I mean? You can't arrest me because I won't allow you to.
Exactly. So say your child is sexually assaulted and a faculty knew about it or saw something about it, they can't be held accountable?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what the law is. That's exactly what it is. So your child could be sexually assaulted. A staff faculty could know about it, could witness it, but because of this law, you have nothing to fight them on.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not just suicide. It's assault, sexual assault, anything that could harm your child.
In any way.
in any way.
Because they're responsible for your child.
Yes. Yeah, they're responsible to get that money for your child. That's all they care about. They care about the money.
Being that he was in their care, that's what blows my mind about them saying they can't be held liable, because he was in their care.
Yep.
So it's, I don't know. This whole thing is crazy.
It is, exactly. It is. And like I said, this quiet mom is no longer going to be quiet. I will be that person you will see outside. Now that the lawsuit's over, I will be the one picketing. I will be the one voicing.
Hey, if you want to do that, let me know, because I love to do that. I will show up and picket with you. I will definitely do that.
Awesome. I love it. That's what I said. I need my army. I'm ready. Let's do it. What are you going to do?
I've done that a few times.
You could take my home, my car. I don't care. Take it. What does it matter? You took my child. My child is priceless. He doesn't have a dollar sign on his head.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like I said.
Well, I like the fact that you're staying strong. You know that you're focused. You know what you want to do, and you're not letting this beat you down. Like, it's making you stronger.
Yeah, it's because the love for my son.
Absolutely.
I can't be quiet, and I won't.
You shouldn't.
Mm-mm. And like I said, if it saves one child, 10 children, 100 children, I'm good with that. That's my goal. My goal is to protect those babies. It's to protect them. If the school's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't care what color your child is. I don't care what they identify. I don't care. That's your baby. That's your baby. And I will like I said, I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill to protect those children. All of them. All of them. I don't care about money. I don't care about anything. They deserve a right to be in a safe, learning environment, free from any of this crap, and to be able to grow and be whoever they want to be. And this is our future. We're losing them between fentanyl and suicide. We're not going to have another generation. It's going to be gone.
I was just talking about that the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just it's sad. It's sad what we're allowing to happen to these babies. It's our fault. We're allowing it to happen. We're allowing it to happen. And I'm not standing for it anymore.
Yeah. So. That's awesome that you're staying and fighting, like, because I know a lot of parents, like some parents would, they would grieve so hard they would just give up, and they would become like antisocial themselves, or even like go to suicide themselves, because of the pain of losing a child. So
it's been a thought. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe you.
I wanted to, but I mean,
that's not an option, though.
An option, and I'm not going to. I still have a life to live, and I know this now.
Right.
I still have a purpose, which there for a while was a little, I wasn't sure what my purpose was, because again, as a mom, all I knew was being a mom, going to baseball games, going to tournaments, doing these, getting things. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
So, and that's what gave me life. That was my purpose. That's what made me feel good. That was my love language, was being a mom. Trying to think, to give them, my kids, both of them, the things that I didn't have growing up, the opportunities that I didn't have growing up, because I had great parents. Don't get me wrong. My parents are amazing parents, but we had limited resources. And I made sure that I did the best I could to make sure they had everything they wanted. They didn't have to work. Like I had to work growing up. I didn't want them to work. If they wanted to work, that's different, but I didn't want them to have to work. I wanted them to be involved in the things they wanted to be involved in. Like my daughter did dance. He did football, baseball. Those were the things that he loved, and that's what I wanted them to do. Is be like, these are the things that make me feel good, and have the opportunity to do it. So that's.
It's just bothering me that these kids are still just walking around and they haven't been held accountable for any of this.
And they're still up to their mercenary ways.
And the fact that this outsider, that's real concerning, that somebody from the outside could just walk into the school like that.
Right in.
Anybody can walk in, you get a school shooter, you get anybody, you get kids getting kidnapped.
Right.
Anything can happen. Like, that should not be able to happen.
Nope, he walked right on it. Like, no big deal. It should be very concerning to parents, very concerning, especially with how people feel about, school shootings and how they are and how they happen. Yeah, just walked right in. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think I was told that the SROs, what do you call this, the resource officer, safety resource, whatever they're called, Liberty is no longer partnering, or the Liberty District is no longer partnering with the Clay County Sheriff Department. They hire their own.
Which just gives them more resources to cover it up.
Because who's signing my paycheck? It's not the Clay County Sheriff's Department. It's Liberty Public Schools.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I just feel like they should take that more seriously. Like, they should have been doing everything they can for you and trying to help you out. And you know what I mean?
Nope, they just want to put the blame on me. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I even was told last week by the other mom that just reached out to me recently that the Spanish teacher that my son reached out to is still talking about my child, telling people the reason he took his life is because school was too hard.
Damn.
Yeah. If you can believe that.
Oh, I can believe that. Wow.
School was just too hard for Logan. That's why he took his life.
But Logan sat down with her and told her what happened.
He wrote it on an assignment. I still have a copy of it. It was in the lawsuit. Wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote her a letter.
Mm-hmm. She sent a copy of it to me. The school counselor, I think, got notified about it, but that's as far as it went. And it basically went after that. It was handed back to me to make sure I took care of the situation, making sure he went to the doctor, making sure he, got therapy. That was my call. And then here's the other kicker too. Right before he passed away, they knew he was in therapy. The school counselor wanted to work with his outside therapist to get a place. Never happened. I did all the work to make sure the privacy releases, all these things, so that they could communicate. She never did anything with it. Not one thing. Nothing. Nope. So. Nope.
Wow. Well, I mean, the next step would be to just make noise, like you said. Go picket, get some people to go out there, stand outside the school.
Yep. That's exactly it.
I'm gonna take this video and I'll push this video and get the online support going, and we'll do what we can. But I'll definitely help you as much as I can.
Perfect. And I just started a Facebook page called Eliminate Sovereign Immunity in Missouri schools. So I'm going to be posting things on there, what progress I'm making with any law changes, things like that. If there's a holdup, if they got, anything, I'm going to be very transparent. And I'm going to be putting it all on there. So
I got I came across that. I guess it was a follow from a group or something.
It was me.
Was that your page?
Yep, that's my page.
Okay. So I read that and that's what I looked it up. And I was like, sovereign immunity. And I was like, sovereign immunity. And I looked it up and then I couldn't believe what I was reading. Yep. I was like, wow, what the hell is this?
It is crazy. The onion peel is being peeled. And it's every time it's like my bottom lip just hits the floor again. These are our kids. My God, what are we doing to them?
So I wonder, who would we have to reach out to would it be like would it be Congress or not Congress? Would it your senators, your local state?
Our local state reps, our senators. It's our legislators. Our legislators are the only ones that can put these bills up and vote to make these changes. That's it. And then our governor, who, at the end of the day, I think he's the one who signs on the final bills and whatever, making sure he doesn't veto anything, making sure, that's who we need to be voicing making our voices heard to.
It blows my mind because I've seen like these big like campaigns against bullying and stuff, or at least commercial things that appear to be movements against it. I guess nothing really gets done, but
I call it.
I would think that they would be on top of that because that used to be a priority.
It used to be. I call it used car salesman syndrome. We'll tell you anything to make you vote for us. We'll tell you anything to get your money. But at the end of the day,
once they get in there, they're like, oh, I'm here now, so I don't have to do anything you want. Yeah.
Yep, the ink's dry on that contract now. I don't need to do anything. You're good. You're the sucker now. Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
How these people can sleep at night, mind blows me. Just mind boggles me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they'd be sleeping so well if it was their kid. That's all I got to say.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. I was like, it's funny until it happens to you, and
Yep.
then then if it happens to them, then it's a problem. Then
Oh,
they're going to expect
absolutely.
the school
Then it's
to
an
do
issue.
something about it.
Exactly. Then it's an issue because it
Then it's an
affected
issue.
them. But since
Absolutely,
it
yeah.
affected some poor lady that, probably was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at now. Is that you just got to make noise. That seems like that's the only thing that's gonna.
That's it. That's the only thing that's going to get
Have
their.
you tried contacting any of the like local representatives or anything like
Yeah,
that?
our new state senator, Maggie Nernberg. I have actually sat down with her and had a conversation, and she is going to work with me on proposing legislation to protect her kids in any way she can.
Now, was she supportive of this?
Very supportive, very supportive. When I had that conversation after she was elected, because she was elected in November, and we had a conversation in December, and she was in tears when I told her everything that happened, because mental health has affected her family.
Yeah.
They're dealing with it. So it was something that was very personal to her too, not just for her own family, but for others. And she's amazing. She's an amazing. So anybody that hasn't researched her or talked to her or reached out, they should. She's part of my friend. She's badass. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We have mental health issues in my family as well, and that's something that there was so much about this story and about your son that drew me
Yeah.
to this, and it's just it's
He's the kid next door. He's anybody. He's the kid next door.
yeah.
You
When I
know?
looked at the pictures, I mean, he looked like a nice
Oh,
young man. Like
I'm telling you, I mean, typical kid. There was times we would. I mean, he had to always be right. Had to always be right. He argued the best of the best arguers. I was like, son, you're going to be an attorney because I can have evidence, black and white evidence. You'll still tell me, nope, that's wrong, and fight me and have to have the last word in. But at the end of the day, he was also the kid that would come up to me and hug me and tell me how much he loved me. And hey,
right,
mama, I'm going to go here and get this. Is it okay if I can get this? You want this? We would go to the store and he would still come up to me, Mama, is that okay? Can I get this? Absolutely, son. Or, just always saying, oh, Mama, I want to get this for grandma, he called my dad old man. I want to get this for the old man. Or I want to get this for my mom. He called me mom. I'm going to get this for me, mom. Oh, she's really going to love it. I mean, I remember it was probably 2 or 3 Christmases ago. He got her a Swiffer for Christmas because he knew how much my mom loved to vacuum. He's like, oh, Mama, she's gonna love this so much. Oh, I cannot wait to give this for her. I cannot wait to give her. Every gift that he would give you was thought out, thoughtful.
right.
I mean, I would take him to the small mall thing, or with the church that would do these little things where they could go shopping by themselves. Every person would have a gift, and every one was specific to that person as something they liked, and he knew would be something that they would hold and cherish. That's my kid. That was my kid.
Yeah,
And they took
that's so awesome.
they they put that flame out because of what money and stats. That's it.
And then it scares me because it's like how many more kids are gonna get pushed into this, because they're being ignored and nobody is caring enough to listen to them.
Exactly.
Like there's a kid out there right now that's feeling the same way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wishing that somebody would listen to him and is feeling hopeless
Yeah,
because of this.
absolutely. And they're like, I mean, look at Logan. I mean, if he couldn't handle it, how am I going to handle it? Or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Just and he said something and nothing happened. His mom took him to court and lost. Why would I even say anything? Nothing's going to happen.
And that's a horrible attitude. Like you can't win if you don't try. You
Right.
can't change anything if you don't
Right.
try. If you don't get up and try, nothing's gonna change.
Exactly. It's not. So that's, like I said, my purpose now is I'm going to fight for it until I take my last breath on this earth. I will be fighting for your children.
Absolutely. So the math teacher, did he do the same thing the Spanish teacher did? He just blew it off too?
He basically, same thing, reported it to me, reported it to the school counselor, and once it got to the school counselor, nothing ever happened after that. But you bet I sure did hear from him if he got in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely.
When for him videotaping his friends in the bathroom for doing a slap, whatever how they did that slap fighting or whatever.
Right.
Apparently, he was either videoing or watching or something. They were doing it. Oh yeah, he got suspended for inciting violence. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, there's so much. There's so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
Well, you just got to keep staying strong and just fighting for him. And like I said, I'll help out any way
yep,
I can. And I'm sure you got lots of friends and family that loved him that will be by your side as
I
well.
truly, yep, I do. You're gonna see it
I
happen.
noticed as soon as I made that status, like I had like 50 people follow me immediately. Like there was tons of support. And I've had
Mhm.
all kinds of people asking how can they tune in, when we was going to do the live.
Yep,
Like
same
there
with
was a
me
lot of
too.
support.
Yeah, he, I'm telling you, he's got an army, and we're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you doing this and reaching
Of
out. I mean,
course. I can't ignore that. Like I
no,
said, I have a son, and I've dealt with the same type of thing and experienced the same type of thing myself.
yeah.
So
So
uh,
well,
we just gotta remain strong. Keep in touch with
oh,
me. Like
absolutely.
if you do anything or if anything happens or you want to go out and pick it or something, like let me know.
You got it. You'll be
So
you'll be the first on my list because I know you got the audience. So
yeah,
absolutely.
I'll do anything I can to help you.
Well, yes,
So
I appreciate that. Thank you again. I mean, like I
uh,
said,
absolutely.
it was an
All
honor to
right.
be here tonight to talk about Logan. So,
If we don't talk about it, it's just gonna be
oh,
forgotten. Like we have to talk about it to make something happen, to make a
yep,
change.
yep,
You know,
absolutely. That's
they don't
right.
want us to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it.
That's exactly right. You're not going to shut me up. You can ask anybody that knows me. If something's on my brain, there's no shutting me up. You're going to hear about it all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm especially when it comes to
Yeah.
children. I really I lash out and protect them children. Like
Hmm.
if you go through my videos, there's like several videos in there where I'm going off on the schools.
I love
Like
it.
Liberty, this ain't the first school that I came on and said, nah, this is bullshit. So,
I
all
can't
right. Well,
wait.
you
Yeah.
have a good night. Like I said, keep in
Yes,
touch with me and just stay strong.
I will.
Like you're his voice now.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And so and because of that, you got to keep pushing. So,
Yeah, I will. I'm not. I'm
uh,
not. I'm not stopping.
and thank everybody that tuned in. I'm
Yes.
gonna go back and read the comments. I haven't really been able to read the comments, but I'm gonna go back and look through all those and everybody that's supporting Logan and everything. So, all right.
All
Well,
right.
you have a good night, and
You too.
I hope that this wasn't too much for you. I
No,
noticed you
I
pulled it
did.
together. You were a little upset in the beginning, but you pulled it together.
I did. I did. Because this is my field fire. I would give my life for my kids. So,
Absolutely.
yep.
Yeah.
So, all
All
right.
right.
Thank you so
Well, you have a
much.
good night. No
You too.
problem.
All right.
All right.
Bye.